One of the earliest and most important voices against World War I was that of Helen Keller. In our schools, we learn about Helen Keller, the deaf and blind girl who became a famous writer, but we do not learn that she was a leading socialist activist. Here is part of a speech Keller delivered before U.S. entry into the war in 1917.
To begin with, I have a word to say to my good friends, the editors, and others who are moved to pity me. Some people are grieved because they imagine I am in the hands of unscrupulous persons who lead me astray and persuade me to espouse unpopular causes and make me the mouthpiece of their propaganda. Now, let it be understood once and for all that I do not want their pity. I would not change place with one of them. I know what I'm talking about. My sources of information are as good and reliable as anybody else's. I have papers and magazines from England, France, Germany, and Austria that I can read myself. Not all of the editors I have met can do that. No, I will not disparage the editors. Let them remember, though, that if I cannot see the fire at the end of their cigarettes, neither can they thread a needle in the dark. We are facing a grave crisis in our national life. The few who profit from the labor of the masses want to organize the workers into an army which will protect the interests of the capitalists. You are urged to add to the heavy burdens you already bear the burden of a larger army and many additional warships. It is in your power to refuse to carry the artillery and to shake off some of the burdens too, such as limousines, steam yachts, and country estates. You do not need to make a great noise about it. With the silence and dignity of creators, you can end wars and the system of selfishness and exploitation that causes wars. All you need to do to bring about this stupendous revolution is to straighten up and fold your arms. Congress is not preparing to defend the people of the United States. It is planning to protect the capital of American speculators and investors in Mexico, South America, China, and the Philippine Islands. Incidentally, this preparation will benefit the manufacturers of munitions and war machines. Our flourishing industry in implements of murder is filling the vaults of New York's banks with gold, and a dollar that is not being used to make a slave of some human being is not fulfilling its purpose in the capitalistic scheme. That dollar must be invested in South America, Mexico, China, or the Philippines. Every modern war has had its root in exploitation. The Civil War was fought to decide whether the slaveholders of the South or the capitalists of the North should exploit the West. The Spanish-American War decided that the United States should exploit Cuba and the Philippines. The South African War decided that the British should exploit the diamond mines. The Russo-Japanese War decided that Japan should exploit Korea. The present war is to decide who shall exploit the Balkans, Turkey, Persia, Egypt, India, China, and Africa. And we are whetting our sword to scare the victors into sharing the spoils with us. Now, the workers are not interested in the spoils. They will not get any of them anyway. I think the workers are the most unselfish of the children of men. They toil and live and die for other people's country, other people's sentiments, other people's liberties, and other people's happiness. The workers have no liberties of their own. They are not free when they are compelled to work 12 or 10 or 8 hours a day. They are not free when they are ill paid for their exhausting toil. They are not free when their children must labor in mines, mills, and factories, or starve, and when women may be driven by poverty to lives of shame. They are not free when they are clubbed and imprisoned because they go on strike for a raise of wages and for the elemental justice that is their right as human beings. We are not free unless the men who frame and execute the laws represent the interests of the lives of the people and no other interest. The ballot does not make a free man out of a wage slave. It is your duty to insist upon radical measures. It is your business to see that no child is employed in an industrial establishment or a mine or a store, and that no worker is needlessly exposed to accident or disease. It is your business to make them give you clean cities, free from smoke, dirt, and congestion. It is your business to make them pay you a living wage, and it is your business to see that this kind of preparedness is carried into every department in the nation until everyone has a chance to be well-born, well-nourished, rightly educated, intelligent, and serviceable to the country at all times. Strike against all ordinances and laws and institutions that continue the slaughter of peace and the butcheries of war. Strike against war, for without you, no battles can be fought. Strike against manufacturing shrapnel and gas bombs and all other tools of murder. Strike against preparedness that means death and misery to millions of human beings. Be not obedient slaves in an army of destruction. Be heroes in an army of construction.